December marks the month of reconciliation, and to commemorate this, the South African Council of Churches will launch the South Africa We Pray For campaign. Now, this campaign aims to outline common goals ahead of the 40th anniversary of the June 16, 1976 Soweto student uprising in 2016. To talk to us about the launch as well as the campaign is Nonkululeko Gobodo, the Chief Executive Officer of the Nkululeko Leadership Consulting. It's good to have you. Welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, thank you.
Excellent. All right, we are in Reconciliation Month. How important is it that we launch this particular campaign, the South Africa We Pray For?
Yes, the SACC actually planned this this way because it's just so important to talk about reconciliation. The whole campaign is really anchored on healing and reconciliation because, I mean, you can imagine where South Africa is after 21 years of democracy. You can't expect people to be healed and reconciled when there's poverty and inequality, when there is no economic transformation, when the family fabric is so in a bad state right now. So they identified those 5 key areas that they want to focus on, including anchoring democracy, and healing and reconciliation is the center of all of this.
Yeah. What's the significance of the South Africa We Pray For campaign from the perspective of business particularly?
Yes, I actually personally got involved in this campaign because I think we're all passionate about seeing South Africa move forward. And I think it's high time now that as citizens, as civil society, as the church, we come together to do something about the problems facing the country. And what the South African Council of Churches have done is to identify those 5 key areas. And we had a workshop, for instance, where 30 activists, social, economic scientists came together to look at this research that has been developed by the SACC and the Institute for Justice and Reconciliation. And out of that, the program of action for next year has come through.
I'm reading that the campaign actually aims to outline goals ahead of the 40th anniversary of the June 16th, 1976. What are the goals?
No, the June 16th event is just one of the programs that the SACC is rolling out in terms of this campaign, the South Africa We Pray For. And I suppose, I mean, the fact that these 2 groups, the June 16 generation and the conscripts, have come together to say, we from the ground now, not waiting for government or anyone else, we want to do something about this. We are all wounded because we never realized that the conscripts were also wounded in the process. We are coming together as these 2 generations were impacted at that time to find healing for ourselves. And I believe that we as South Africans will also find healing in the process.
Yeah. I mean, when we look at the South African Council of Churches, it's been very vocal in a lot of issues in the governance and the leadership of our country. I mean, we'll take, for instance, just recently we saw the church coming out and saying that they did not agree with the president's move of removing our then finance minister. Obviously, that's all been done. And I can imagine from the business perspective as well, this is part of the South Africa We Pray For campaign, is whatever's in the best interest of our country.
Yes, I think that is the concern of the SACC. They were really alarmed by that move because you remember, I mean, they're focused on the marginalized citizens of the country, the poor and the ones who are marginalized right now. So you can imagine when you tamper with the economy, you are affecting them directly. And I suppose as business, we're talking about economic transformation, and economic transformation cannot happen in a situation where the economy is in an unstable situation. And I must say we are relieved that he has changed his mind. But I suppose, I mean, it's a huge lesson to learn when billions have been wiped off our balance sheet as a country.
Yeah, it just, you know, I think at the end of the day, it's like we mentioned, it's a wonderful country that needs a lot of prayers at this point in time. Yes. But it needs more than just prayers. And, and I imagine from the business and the corporate perspective, this is where you come into the equation.
Yes, so that's how why I got involved. I mean, I'm personally passionate about economic transformation, and I suppose, I mean, it's just so appropriate that this is being launched on Reconciliation Day tomorrow. They are having a prayer service at Regina Mundi in Soweto, starting at 11 a.m., where this thing is going to be launched. And we want all citizens to be part of this campaign, and all are welcome.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program. Nonkululeko Gobodo, CEO of Nonkululeko Leadership Consulting, working together with the South African Council of Churches for the South Africa We Love, or We Pray For campaign. Thank you again for joining us.
Thanks so much, Len.
All right. As we told you a little bit earlier,